on the 8GB card, nor on the 16GB card. But what I'm also noticing here is that performance is overall higher on both cards. They're essentially tied. Remember, a couple percent difference is just run-to-run variance. So in other words, the performance improvement I saw on the 8GB card from the launch day to patch 1.3 cannot be entirely attributed to VRAM related improvements, meaning something else has changed about the performance of the game on the Ultra preset that is not entirely a VRAM related change. However, I'm also wanting to take a look at something which is the 1080. Oh, this is a typo, guys. There's a typo. I'm not going to re-render it. This is not 1440p. This is 1080p now. Okay. So I also checked out 1080p to see if we'd be seeing the same sort of issues. Now on 1080p, even on the launch patch, I was not seeing stuttering in this particular area. Again, a longer playthrough or other areas may have seen it, because I did see lots of reports of people having issues on 8GB cards on 1080p on launch. Just didn't capture it here, but I am seeing improved performance from the launch day patch to patch 1.3. Not as dramatic as I saw at 1440p. Here I'm seeing a 21% improvement in both the averages and the 1% lows. But once again, looks like I have the captions correct now. But though, when looking at the launch patch from the 8GB card to the 16GB card, I'm again not seeing significant performance differences between the two, meaning that the improvements that I'm seeing from patch 1.3 do not seem to, again, be able to be attributed entirely to just VRAM optimizations. There seems to be some other kind of optimization taking place on the Ultra preset. Now I was trying to look to see if I could see any obvious differences to the graphics, like did they just make the graphics look worse? So feel free to try to spot that. When we were looking at the launch patch versus the 1.3, I didn't see anything obvious. But here, I'm also looking at patch 1.3 on both the 8GB and 16GB card here. And notice that once again, there's some small differences in performance that I would chalk up to, run-to-run variance and things like that, but nothing dramatic. And in fact, on this particular run, it looked like it even favored the 8GB card. So I guess what I'm saying is there is definitely performance improvements at the Ultra preset on the patch 1.3, but it is very clearly not entirely down to VRAM-related optimizations, although it appears to be partially down to VRAM-related optimizations, especially on my 1440p run where rendering resolution, I'm actually seeing virtually identical performance between the launch patch and patch 1.3. Now, there's a 3 FPS improvement in the 1% lows, but that could just be run-to-run variance. But in general, I'm seeing that the 5060 Ti 8GB on the launch patch and patch 1.3 are both averaging 75 FPS and kind of in the mid-50s and 1% lows. So, while we saw that huge improvement to the Ultra settings, I'm not seeing that huge improvement to the medium preset. So, interesting there. Now, I also wanted to look at pre-patch, comparing the 8GB card to the 16GB card to see if there were any meaningful differences there. I'm seeing some differences, not a lot though, so I would chalk this up to not likely being VRAM related, especially since VRAM allocation and per process usage are well under 8GB being reported on both cards. I'm seeing a 2 FPS difference for the averages and a 5 FPS difference in the 1% lows, which is not terribly meaningful, especially since I'm not doing like the average of 3 benchmark runs or something like that. So there can just be some run-to-run variance on these things. So I think that's what we're seeing here. So pre-patch, it seems like the medium preset at 1080p was okay on 8GB GPUs and still is. Now on patch 1.3, I ran the same tests. So this is 8GB on the left, 16GB on the right on patch 1.3, 1080p medium preset, 67% internal rendering resolution, same thing. And again, I'm still seeing that the 16GB card is a couple FPS faster. It's here we're at 77 versus 75, and the 1% lows are 64 versus 58. It is a 10% improvement in the 1% lows, but again, there's nothing else seeming to indicate that we're seeing VRAM related issues or anything like that. So All I can say is it seems like the medium preset wasn't having issues with VRAM pre or post patch, but we're not seeing that big performance jump at 1080p medium like I saw on the ultra settings. I did also want to check out 1440p on the medium preset to see if that changed anything. 1440p medium preset defaulted to TSR resolution scaling all the way down at 50%, which is not great.
祭司様にどうかお引き周りをご覧ください。食をし勘弁この薬を
引け。 ちっとも痛くなんか逃げるな。
これを鳴らしたら俺がすぐに助太刀に向かおう。
今日はどんなものを持ってきたのだ？見せてくれ。あの宅発はだが、後に町に騒ぎが起こった時、宅発は女をさらっていったのだ。親を亡くした息子たちも哀れなものよ。今の世の中、
少林の無事を守ってくだされ。少林、お前なのかい？あの同志たちとラケの邸宅、あの陸交流。少林、あの同志、あの陸。あの父、ロード、母さんもそ、少林。ロード、母さんもそ、少林。
静寂を破ったのは腕に羽を生やしているにもかかわらずわしと会話できる。面白い。だが今日は言葉が羽化したあやかしは人だった時の記憶を失うのだ。お主はどこまでそれから新馬